Addressing every fan of the Predator franchise out there, we're pretty sure you remember how the second installment ended. Well, for those who do not, and we highly doubt if there's anyone, our lead character, Lieutenant Mike Harrigan, is not only seen defeating the City Hunter, but also being a recipient of an antique flintlock pistol. Truth be told, there was never really a story about what happened to Harrigan post these events, or was there a follow-up story? Well, we're going to find out all about it in today's video. Before we get into our explanation, we do have one very small request. If you enjoy our content, then please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Now let's begin. Let us travel back to Predator 2 first. Mike Harrigan rounded out on the streets of LA with his best friend Danny Archuleta. The duo not only joined the Los Angeles Police Department, but also underwent training together. In fact, there was a point when Harrigan was close friends with fellow officer Phil Heineman. However, with Heineman given a higher position as deputy chief, the duo's contradictory beliefs and approaches eventually created a rift between them. Given his service with the LAPD for almost 2 decades, Harrigan was known particularly for demolishing close to a dozen police patrol cars while in a line of duty. Add to this a city bus as well as a street sweeper in unnamed circumstances. He has also been a receiver of about 10 acclamations for his bravery and even held the best crime arrest record in the very history of the LAPD. For those of you wondering about his personal life, his commitment to his job has caused him to suffer not only a marriage, but also plenty of prolonged relationships. Now let's briefly take a look at the storyline. We have the streets of LA transformed into a slaughterhouse thanks to an intense gunfight between the Colombian and Jamaican gangsters. With the LAPD intervening and eventually outmanned and outgunned, add to this 2 officers seriously wounded in the process, Harrigan is seen arriving on the scene. He succeeds in single-handedly attacking the Colombian Scorpions and has them retreat inside an adjacent building that mainly serves as their weapons hideout. Harrigan and his team are seen going after them, only to find the Colombian gang leader, El Scorpio, hysterically terrified and eventually falling from the building roof to his death. As for the rest of the gang members, they have all been butchered beyond recognition by the City Hunter, whom the police officers initially believed to be some outside talent, probably working for the Jamaican drug lord, voodoo practitioner King Willie. Post the deadly turf war, Harrigan is strictly appraised by his superiors to stay out of the investigation of the drug cartels and to not interfere with the federal investigation carried out by Special Agent Peter Keyes of the Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA. Around the same time, he gets introduced to Detective Jerry Lambert, a new team member. Moving ahead with the storyline, Colombian drug lord Ramon Vega gets murdered inside his penthouse by the Jamaican gangsters, who are then themselves slaughtered by the City Hunter. With Harrigan's team rushing to the crime scene, they are very quickly removed by Agent Keyes and his men. Of course, that doesn't stop a persevering Harrigan, and he's seen devising a plan with Archuleta and asking him to meet him later at night inside the penthouse so that the duo can probe deeper into things. However, with Archuleta arriving at the apartment minutes before Harrigan, he unfortunately becomes a victim of the City Hunter. Archuleta's death almost drives Harrigan mad with revenge. He gets hell-bent on finding the killer alone. This has him going to the extent of even meeting King Willie in the hopes of finding some information about the new mysterious killer stalking the city of Fear, but he leaves unsatisfied without any answers. Also, moments after Harrigan goes from there, the City Hunter engages in a fight with King Willie, and no points for guessing that the drug lord becomes the next victim for the Predator. As for Harrigan, he becomes certain that the Predator is stalking him, particularly when he goes to the cemetery to pay his respects to Archuleta, and finds the late detective's necklace hanging on the branch of a tree there. Eventually, with things pointing towards the city's slaughterhouse district, Harrigan asks his team members Lambert and Leona Cantrell to meet him there at Vernon Metro Station. Upon reaching the station, Harrigan finds to his horror that the killer has ambushed again, this time aiming at the passengers inside the train. Leona has somehow managed to survive, and while she is being taken to the hospital, Harrigan learns from the paramedics tending to her that she's pregnant. Lambert, on the other hand, isn't that fortunate, and his skull and spinal column are ripped from his body by the Predator, a horrific scene that Harrigan witnesses. While this obviously has Harrigan going after the Predator, he, in due course, gets intercepted by the men of Keyes, who take him inside this high-tech command center. There, Harrigan finally learns about this otherworld life form, one that likes to hunt for sport and honor and possesses remarkable weaponry. This extraterrestrial being usually gets drawn in by heat and conflict, has spectacular defensive adaptation skills, and hunts by resorting to infrared vision. Speaking of Keyes, it becomes crystal clear that he isn't with the DEA and that he actually heads a highly covert task force known as the Otherworldly Life Forms Program, Owlif, which aims to capture the Predator in order to study the creature. Harrigan further learns of Keyes' plan of capturing the Predator inside a slaughterhouse where the being is known to arrive and feed every 2 days. Keyes has devised a foolproof plan to capture and isolate the creature inside the slaughterhouse. Despite the warnings of Harrigan, he dashes ahead with his scheme only to have his men get outwitted first, then brutally massacred. This has Harrigan arming himself and going after the Predator himself. Of course, he's no match for the Predator, but the intervention of Keyes gives him a head start to escape to the roof. It's an intense battle between the duo, with Harrigan severing the Predator's arm using the latter's smart disc. Harrigan follows the wounded Predator down the building elevator shaft into a cavern-like structure beneath the city, where he eventually discovers the city hunter's hidden mothership. Inside the spaceship, Harrigan discovers some kind of trophy collection with skulls of humans and animals, as well as that of a xenomorph, clearly citing that they have all been stalked and killed by the Predator. Harrigan faces the Predator in a final battle that ends with him fatally stabbing the city hunter with the smart disc. Post the death of the city hunter, several Predators appear in front of Harrigan to take the body of their fallen comrade with them. The last one to leave, or the leader of the Predators, so it seems, tosses at Harrigan an antique flintlock pistol that has Raphael Adolini 1750 engraved on it. The spaceship is seen taking off right after, and Harrigan manages to escape. With him reaching to the surface covered entirely in dust, he is met by a subordinate of Keyes who is highly enraged with Harrigan for having killed the Predator they just wanted to capture. Looking at the flintlock pistol, Harrigan laughs to himself and says that the Predators will definitely return. What do we know about the flintlock pistol? This Spanish-made flintlock pistol, manufactured in the year 1715, belonged to the French voyager Raphael Adolini, whom we crossed paths with in Dan Trachtenberg's Prey. Now, there's no denying that Prey is the 5th installment in the Predator franchise, but it actually serves as a prequel to our first 4 flicks. In the 2022 movie Prey, Adolini, after getting terribly wounded by the feral Predator, was seen handing his gun to the young Comanche warrior Naru, and teaching her how to use the pistol in exchange for getting his severed foot treated. After Naru successfully killing the Predator, she took the gun back with her to her tribe. Mind you, all of these incidents took place in the year 1719. It still is a mystery how this gun landed into the hands of the Predator Greyback, as seen in the movie Predator 2. Our guess is that we have to wait for a few more movies to get added to the franchise. Story of Lieutenant Mike Harrigan after Predator 2. Well, this brings us to the 2017 anthology novel Predator If It Bleeds, which contains 16 different stories. Out of these short stories, Brian Thomas Schmidt and Holly Roberts' drug war focuses on Lieutenant Mike Harrigan and serves as a sequel to the events following Predator 2. Let's dig into the story then, shall we? Harrigan has finally retired from the LAPD and is currently serving himself as an advisor to different urban police forces all around the world, and specializes on giving advice as to how to deal with extreme gang violence. Harrigan is seen attending a conference in Rio de Janeiro when he crosses paths with Agent Garber, one of Keyes' subordinates from Owlif. Garber isn't with Owlif anymore. He's currently into selling high-powered armaments. All of a sudden, they hear an explosion outside, and this has Harrigan, along with some local police officers, rushing to probe deeper into the matter. Garber decides to join Harrigan and takes out this high-tech rifle. Upon looking through the scope attached to the powerful rifle, he finds a skinned body hanging from a tree and realizes that this is the job of a Predator. Harrigan, on the other hand, loses track of the local police accompanying him in the maze-like slum and chances upon a local man named Fernando, who offers to help him out. The pair is able to locate the Predator and witness it slaughtering many gang members using its plasma caster. It's around the same time that Garber shows up highly armed with his high-powered weapons and gets into a duel with the Predator. Unfortunately, he's no match for the Predator and suffers a similar blow like like the gang members. Mind you, while all of this is happening, Harrigan realizes that he's extremely under-equipped, and so he goes to pick up some more weapons. When he comes back, he finds the Predator done with Garber and turning its attention toward Fernando. Harrigan aims and fires at the Predator in the shoulder. The injured Yautja runs away with Harrigan following it and discovers itself trapped between Harrigan and the highly armed police squad. The police ends up firing at the Predator, severely injuring it in the process, but the latter still manages to flee from there. Harrigan is not the only one to give up so easily. He continues to track the Predator down and corners the creature. He is almost on the verge of killing it when he's confronted by 4 other Predators. While the new Predators don't attack Harrigan, they disclose their motive for coming to Rio. Apparently, they are pursuing the same Predator who is wanted for some unknown crime. Having acknowledged their reasons, Harrigan lets them take away the rogue Predator. The short story ends with Harrigan alluding to the others that the Yautja will punish the Predator in their own manner. Now, drug war might not be a very long story or the closure that you were seeking for, but like it or not, the story here does tell us what happened to Harrigan post the events of Predator 2. Marvelous verdict. Anyway, with this, we've finally come to the end of our video here. Well, what do you guys think of the short story? How do you like that they brought back Lieutenant Mike Harrigan after Predator 2? Or do you believe that they could have done something better? We'd love to know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Also, stay tuned with us as we promise to come back with more exciting content. Till then, goodbye and have a nice one.